Should get myself on.
All right. We are live. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Rick. I'm also known as Rick's 2 Cents. We're doing a live questions answers today, woodworking, laser engraving, you name it, with my fellow co-hosts, Steve from Steve Makes Everything and Roger from Roger Shop. Thank you for joining our live today. Hold on one second. I got to move something. Sorry.
So if you got any questions, fire away. We're here to answer them.
There was the one question there already.
This one says hello.
Hey.
What's the best way to sell custom? What is that?
Votive
holders. Votive candles are these little candles. It's almost the same holder that you use for beer flights when you're at a bar.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
Dish with a lot of little holes in it.
Okay. I know what you're talking about.
At Etsy,
yeah. Facebook Marketplace.
Get into the current of people selling them on Etsy and offer something other people don't, and you'll do okay.
Looks like my uncle Cliff jumped in. Hey, Cliff, thanks for joining us. He's a pastor. He's an evangelist. He travels all over preaching the gospel. So very cool that you can join us.
So you have to be on your best behavior now.
He knows me.
That's why he's here.
I'm one of those Christians who knows I need God, right?
He's here to save you. Viking, where are you today? How come you're not online?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So Daniel said amen, right? I'm one of those Christians. Oh, I need God. Hey, Daniel, are you jumping on the live, brother? Hey, so first off, I want to say thank you to you guys for covering for me and rolling with the live when I wasn't able to make it. That was really great and awesome of you guys. I was able to poke in and at one point kind of jump in and just kind of see what's going on, but without getting yelled at from my wife because I was at an event for my daughter. So
yeah, that would be bad.
So that was cool of you. Yeah. So we thought she was actually only getting one entry. It was for some artwork, and she ended up getting 3 entries. It was for illustration art, a painting, and a drawing, and she won first state for 3 different.
Wow. So you've got some art in the family.
Yeah. So it's very cool.
I don't know. I have no artistic ability, I don't think.
Well, you kind of do on the lasers there, right? So.
Well, that's what people say, but it's just, to me, everything is an engineering problem, right? It's just like I look at it and go, okay, what engineering do I need to apply to make this happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, family first. In your situation, I would have taken your wife's side if you started live streaming while your daughter was doing something.
Yeah. So, and I was surprised. I have to say, to be honest, I received like 6 emails that people asked me, am I okay? Because I missed 2 of the lives. So thank you guys. That's pretty cool. So that's pretty cool.
It wasn't quite the same without you. Let's say that. Daniel's working the mine tonight.
We're both doing the same time. Go ahead.
SVG.
Yes. So speaking of layered projects, I've been working on. I found a new mapping tool, which I'm going to drop a video on fairly soon. This is actually like a 3-layer map, so it's got the main roads are raised up. And I spent some time talking to these guys. It's a company called Laser Map Maker, and they got a new tool. It's much better. So the previous tool I was using was Snazzy Maps, which is the one everyone uses. I won't say it's the best one out there. It's the least worst one. But these guys have come up with a much simpler environment for building these things. So video's coming. I was working on it since we were an hour late tonight. I was working on it.
So are you liking that because of the export? Are you liking that because the overlay tools? What are you liking?
The workflow, I don't know if you've ever played with Snazzy Maps, but every time you want to put something on the map, there's like a million options that you have to configure to make it happen. And any map you're going to do in Snazzy Maps takes, I don't know, an hour at least. And it's just a pain. So these guys, I did the design for this map in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I live in Google Earth, like KMZ files all day long, you know?
yeah.
But that's for work. Let's see. Hey guys, hope you have a good week. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Kate. Happy hump day. Happy hump day.
I did until yesterday when I was mowing the grass and knocked a bald-faced hornet's nest out of a tree.
Nice.
They weren't happy, and
Yeah.
it's amazing how fast they go for the armpits.
Yeah.
So I'm a little.
That's when you're annoyed that you're driving a tractor and not a sports car.
Yeah. Even pushing, I mean, just flooring it, I couldn't get away from there fast enough. I could have probably run faster.
Yeah, I got some of those dirt bees once, and that was a battle, man. Those are not fun at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I have honeybees, and I don't really. Well, of course, it's not fun getting stung by them, but it doesn't bother me much. But man, them hornets, them things sting. They got some heavy equipment on them.
Yeah, they can keep stinging you. That's the thing. A bee will sting you once. A hornet will sting you over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So a big difference.
And they're kind of jerks too. Honeybees are not so bad.
Are you singing the what is his name? Winnie the Pooh songs to them? He always sings to them as you steal their honey.
In case you didn't know, Winnie the Pooh is banned in North Korea.
Why is he? Is he some? Like, what's the reason? I won't even guess. Or
not North Korea, but China. It's banned in China. I guess Winnie the Pooh looks like whoever their leader is over there. So Winnie the Pooh has been banned.
Good Lord.
Yeah, there was a woman who went to the bathroom in North Korea, and she left the Bible in the bathroom stall, and I guess it's illegal to bring a Bible in there. She's still in prison.
Yeah, they've got some funny laws in North Korea. I didn't meant China, though. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is banned in China.
Yeah, that was North Korea. She's still in prison. But you know what? That's their laws, and you knew that when you brought that in there. And I'm not saying like you knew that, right? And she was like, she said that she didn't forget it. She didn't intentionally forget it for someone to read it, that she accidentally forgot it. And I'm not going to argue one way or the other, but if you knew that was a law, you shouldn't even bring it in. You shouldn't have. That's their country. You can't expect us to do an invasion with a military to go because you didn't obey their laws.
When in Rome.
Exactly.
Daniel's really working the mines tonight.
Overtime pay is gonna lull me.
Says he's gonna hit 16 hours.
Nice one.
Oh,
nice one.
I remember those days, and I don't miss it a bit.
I miss it. We used to work 3 days straight, no sleep, 8 hours off, 2 days straight, no sleep.
You probably missed the overtime. The only time I ever did overtime in a job was when I was in a union. Yep. And because our contract was just amazing, if you worked like 1 second of overtime, you were getting paid, right? And the last year I was there, I worked 1,100 hours of overtime. And almost all of it was double time. So that's the way.
Sorry, Rick and Steve in the audience. I'd much rather be in the shop than in my job.
We're weeping.
Listening. We're listening via Bluetooth. Yeah, thank you. You can join us at least audible. So anybody got any questions? Anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you need some knowledge on? You got questions? We got answers.
So the thing you missed last week was I had the We Create IR module.
Okay.
And I put it in my laser, and it didn't work. And I thought, oh no. So I had a mini back and forth with the We Create guys, and they were actually pretty good about it. But they finally discovered that my laser is like serial number 11 or something. So like it was one of the beta units, and apparently it won't handle it. So their solution to this problem, which is good news, is they're just going to send me the 40-watt laser. So
nice.
So I'll review the 40-watt laser and put the IR in there at the same time. So
hey, Big Mex, how you like that one?
Wow. I'm still waiting for Monport to send me a fiber. I got to reach out to them.
You like that, Roger?
Yeah, that's pretty sharp.
It says the wind blew, the lines flew, out came the line crew.
You need to you need to buy a couple $100,000 worth of gold sheet and make those. If you really value your brothers, you'll give them a gold coin.
So the IBW, if anyone's IBW out there, Kevin, what I told him is, hey man, you know, our economy is struggling as a whole, right? Guys aren't getting hours that they used to. You know, we're talking about the overtime, right? I used to get 100 hours, 110 hours a week. And I'm a PM now. I won't say for who, but I'm sure you can put two and two together. Because there's just not any work. The guys are getting 25 hours a week, you know? So hence why you have guys like us doing things like this, side hustles, you know? A lot of times people say, well, if your side hustle makes so much money, why isn't it your full-time hustle? And I think some people, they fail to realize, like, my full-time hustle is like a high six-figure job. So my side hustle has to be really, really good to be a full-time job, right? At the same token, there's nothing wrong with a side hustle, because then, you know what? I'm married. So when I want to spend money on something and it's my side hustle, you really can't yell at me because I gave you my whole check, you know? But it's also nice to have a stash, because our economy is struggling and things come up, and they tend to come up more often than you like to. It's nice to have a little money out of the mattress, so to speak, you know? At least that's my take on it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that the economy is actually struggling when everybody says it's not, right? Like, people are still spending, people are still hiring like crazy, yet you can't afford to buy, you know, a bag of bananas. So it's
right.
It's a bit odd.
It seems that the process to swap laser modules for WeCrate is.
So this was the thing I was worried about last week when I had this laser module in my hand and there's a circuit board sticking out the side of it, the connector. It's not, I don't know. What they really should have done is build some kind of a dovetail for that laser before they started adding these laser module options, because when you first install it, you have to change, there's a board in there that you have to change, a little circuit board. And so you change that. And then after that, it's swapping. You have to pull 4 screws out of the laser module. And one of them you can't even see. Like, you just kind of poke an Allen key in there blindly, and eventually you hit it. And then you disconnect all these cables, and they're these really fine printed circuit board cables. So I don't know, they're just going to break. And it's like, really, it's flat ribbon cable with no connector on the end. It's just got the gold connection. So you slide it in and
push it in.
Yeah. So it's not for the faint of heart, I would say.
So are those upgradable options, or are they supposed to be hot swappable?
Well, they're upgradable. Yeah.
So you wouldn't go,
it's not. So it's, you take the existing laser module out and you put this one in. So remove 4 screws, all these tedious connectors, put the new one back in, put 4 screws back in to do who knows what with an IR module, do something on a piece of metal, then take it back out because you need to cut a piece of wood. I don't know. It's not a good idea.
They need to do something like what Longer did with their IR module. That's like a 10-second swap. No time at all.
Yep.
So you have a tethered laser as well, or no? Because I know Roger and I both do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you did the upgrade on that, or did you flat out start with 35 or 40 watt?
Mine. That's the, what model is it? P2? Is that what it is?
P5.
P5
yeah. And the V35.
Yeah, mine was 33 watt, I think, or it was 30 watt anyway. The 30 watt module. So.
Yes. I started.
And
with
I did actually after. Oh no, that was the Longer where I started with a 20. Then they sent me a 30 watt module. Then they sent me a 40 watt module. It's like, okay, I got all these modules.
Yeah. What someone says, Rick, you need to make a coin for the power plant people who work in power plant station 35 for years. Steve from Virginia. You're saying the one that was closed down?
They're closing power plants?
Nuclear.
Wow.
I've worked at a couple of nukes way back.
Yeah, so I know it's crazy because, like, I was in charge of the maintenance contract for the state of Illinois. So when I was considered on storm, I never left Illinois because I was in charge of Illinois. So, but because of that, my security level clearance, I can go in anything. Nuke site, I mean, I can go in anything. But yeah, it's just crazy.
I worked on building a couple of them. Not the concrete, all of the software.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of security. It's actually
well, that's one of the things I worked on was monitoring the spent fuel in the storage bays, so that seedy people don't sneak in and steal a couple of kilograms of plutonium or something. That would be bad.
Yeah. Steve, are you a union brother?
I used to be. So when I was a software guy, when I was working in the atomic energy business, I was a member of the Steelworkers of America.
Nice.
As a software guy, so it was a bit of a stretch for us.
So I'm vested, so I'm still paying my dues. I'm a senior PM, so I'm no longer in a union position.
Management,
but I'm still paying my dues. Yeah. So supporting my brothers. Do what I can to help. But has anyone got any questions, laser related? And I do have a really good topic. I know we did this at a couple of our lives and actually went pretty it extended our live where I had a question about something that was non-laser wood related whatsoever. And everyone just kind of went in, and I think it snowballed into 2 weeks. So I got of people answering the same question. So I do have a question, and I guess we can come up with it as we're going along. But what is something you called off work for that was so stupid you almost lied, and then you finally told the truth? And I'm gonna say my stupid thing was I fell in the shower. I was getting out of the shower. I slipped, fell, banged my head, hurt my back, and I was actually gonna call and say I was sick. And I finally just called my boss and said, I slipped in the shower and I'm hurt really bad. I can't come to work. And I wanted to lie just because it sounded so stupid. My boss says, I've done it before. You might need 2-3 days, But yeah, so what is something you called off work for that was so stupid you almost lied? And did you end up telling the truth, or what was your story you told?
I don't think I've ever done that, actually. I mean, I broke my leg playing baseball one time, and it was a bit of an awkward situation because I worked in the atomic energy industry. You can't drive your car to the building, so I had quite a long walk, and it was a bit awkward.
Yeah, so, broken leg.
I can't say I ever did that. It's rare I ever called in. I got awards a few times for never missing work. So
yeah, it was kind of the same. We always had smaller crews, so you depend on each other, and if you called off, it kind of you just didn't. Yeah, you just didn't. Hey, Roger, you know what? Your audio sounds great.
Yes, he fixed it.
Did you fix it?
Got the headset on tonight. Got it back from my grandson.
Okay. Nice.
You gave him the terrible headset to take that.
As you talk here in the background, Red Rom.
Are there no laser questions tonight?
Yeah. No, I don't mind BSing with everybody, but yeah, no laser questions. Anything you guys want to talk about?
I know Longer did reach out to me this week, and they want to send me their Nano, which is their little galvo laser.
Nice.
But what gets me is they're trying to compare it to the laser packer fiber unit, but the Nano isn't fiber. So I'm waiting to see when I get it. I mean, it's just a blue dot laser, just this galvo controlled is all.
Yeah, they've been badgering me, well, really since it was still in the Kickstarter mode. And I keep looking at it going, I don't know. I don't care if I review it or not. It just doesn't look that exciting. But some people, I've talked to a couple of people who have them and think they're okay. So
I don't mean to sound snobbish, but it seems like when you get these calls now with these low-end lasers, I just reply, I'm not interested. Thank you. Please keep me in mind for future opportunities.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a tedious balance because I mean, you're running a channel for people at all ends of the spectrum here, right? So,
Right.
there are people who want a $200 laser. There's people who want a $2,000 laser.
Right.
Um, so it's kind of a tricky thing, but it takes a
Yeah.
lot of time, right? And to create a decent video and like for me, it's actually easier to build project videos because there's a lot
Yes.
less work than doing a review, but people want to see them. So yeah, but I'm the same way now. I just like I look at it, if it's generally if it's an open frame laser, I won't review it anymore.
Yeah. And I kind of like, we were on the same page when we said it's fun to do the reviews when the review's over, right? Because the manufacturer's like, can you please cover these particular items? Most of the time they have kind of a punch list of things or things you agree that you're going to cover. And it's just because, people generally want to know. Well, that's not exactly a very fun video. It's more like a tutorial, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're like, all right, cool, I knocked that out the park and did what they want, and I'm going to have fun with the laser and make things. I think one, you get more views that way, and two, that's kind of what people want to see, but the other thing is I think that people see these laser videos that someone's making something, and through the power of YouTube, right, you're kind of like short term showing that. You're not showing the whole process because it may be a 3-hour video and nobody's going to watch that, so they always assume, they get the laser home, they turn it on, they hit run, and it looks like crap. And then that's the guy on Facebook asking everyone, what's the setting? What's the settings?
Yeah,
Right?
I've had that experience. It's a bit awkward, right? Because you say, "Hey, here's this wonderful laser," and then somebody buys it and it doesn't magically work out of the box, and they go, "You recommended this to me," which is now you're obligated to fix my problem. Now,
Yes.
in most cases, I'll try, but it is kind of an awkward setup, right? Because I don't control the company, I don't control their quality control, I don't control anything about them really, and it's hard to rationalize some of that sometimes. But hey, Mr. Clack is here.
I want a laser I can give to my grandson in the future, and they won't go blind learning how to use it.
Yeah, class 1.
Yeah, I get a class 1, long or X Tool S1 or anything in a box. We Create's not a bad one.
Yeah.
What does Mr. Clack have to say tonight?
I take them local support. I take them local makers with them and donate to local schools.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, that's why we said there's got to be a happy medium, But if you're doing the bottom of the barrel, so to speak, of the cheapest version of the laser that they sell all the time, I don't know. But that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's just the effort to make a video and know that there's a very small portion of your audience that's actually interested in that laser.
Right. Yeah, it'd be different if they said, hey, we're going to compensate you this, and we want the video, and they're going to repurpose it what they want to do with it. That's one thing.
And I've done several videos on what I'm going to call off-brand and the low-cost, real entry level. And they get some decent views, but it's not something that I'll tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly about it.
Right.
But it's not something that I've seen good commissions come back on at all.
Yeah. The biggest thing for me is not even the price. It's if you're buying a $200 laser, it's probably going to be a 5-watt laser. And I've been working with somebody online quite a bit who's having trouble doing cutting, and then I finally like, and I mean, she might have told me what laser she had, but about I don't know, 10 email exchanges later, she said, "Oh, it's a 5-watt laser," and I went, "Well, that's why you can't cut anything. Like, it's like
right.
Now's the time to upgrade."
Right.
So, like, if your use case is cutting, you don't want a 5-watt laser. So it was just a little frustrating, but I think I got her sorted around. So
I have a particular person who keeps reaching out to me that's met me because of YouTube. And I tell her all the time to join our live. I said, hey, 4 heads or 3 heads are better than one. Not that I'm not willing to help you, but hey, that you guys could have valuable input on them as well. And she actually messaged me today, how much should I sell my lasers? She's literally selling all her lasers because she wants to buy the same ones I have. And I'm like, oh
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
not a good thing.
I was
You know,
like, oh
i-
God.
in general, buy the best laser you can afford. But I would say don't buy. I wouldn't buy anything less than a 20-watt laser. So if you can't
Agreed.
afford a 20-watt laser, wait. You'd be happier if you wait.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at the same time, you don't need a 70-watt laser, 70-watt diode laser. That's like handing somebody a loaded weapon, right? And it's just going to end up in pain.
Well, you're going to have a pretty good fire going.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, set it on about 2 millimeters a minute and 100% power, and see how long it takes for the fire department to get to your house.
Yeah.
I think early on in one of our early videos, Steve, you said you're going to buy a laser and then you're going to buy the right one the second time, right? And I've never heard anyone say that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of right. And I think the reason I'm saying that's right is because I think when you are wanting to buy a laser, your expectations of what you're going to create or what you think you're going to sell, and then when you actually get your feet wet, may completely change. So you may just, like, it was great. Maybe you didn't make the first initial, like you didn't buy the Escalade of the lasers. You kind of bought an entry level 20 watt, like you said. You bought and then later on you want to go crazy and do some crazy CO2 laser that's $7,000-8,000 or something. So I think starting in a diode laser is not a bad idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I mean, I kind of started the wrong way, right? Like I bought my first laser was a CO2, and I actually, like, I remember thinking, why the hell would anybody want to buy a diode laser if you can get a CO2? But having kind of learned a lot over the years, particularly about diode lasers, there are things I only do with a diode laser.
Yep.
And like I said, your second laser is usually the right one, or you're on the right path. The first laser is, hey, I want to buy a laser, as opposed to here's the projects I want to do. And I mean, we always ask the same question, right? What do you want to do with a laser?
Right.
When somebody says, which one should I buy? And and the answer is always the same. What do you want to do? And that's the get you to the second laser right away, right? Save you some money and get you to the right thing. But to some degree, I think even then you're going to buy a laser thinking you're going to do one thing, and then you find out later that you're doing something completely different, and then you're still going to buy the wrong laser. So
good evening. I cannot get my white tiles dark enough. They just are light gray. I tried 4 different white spray paints and titanium dioxide spray application. I'm doing something wrong.
Rick is randomly holding a white tile in the empty space there.
Trying to get around. I'm on the wrong camera.
Get away. You're turning your hand the wrong way.
Do it this way.
Now you're on the other camera.
Other way.
Oh. Yeah, let's see what camera I'm on here. Need to be on 3.
Hey, Steven.
Thanks, Steven.
There we go. So this is, I can't tell you the speed and power on that, but if your tiles are coming out gray instead of black, you need to run a test first, and then you need to pick out the best from there. So you want to look at your speed and your power according to the test you ran. The Nicky Norton White tile test files all over the internet. You can download it and run that. Well, this is getting interesting.
I was trying to get you to be big so that you can bring that tile over.
Oh. Well, let me put it back up here.
That's it. There you go.
There it is. So there's what you want. And if you over engrave, it's going to be deep and black and kind of ugly. And as you found out, if you under engrave with your power down too low or your speed too high, you're going to get that gray finish and not the good black.
Yeah, I find titanium generally makes things kind of grayish anyway, but if you're engraving right, it's dark, but it's not black.
Yeah. I actually got a bunch of tiles right behind me. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna try.
On your fiber or CO2?
Both actually. I wanted to see the difference of speed, and I also wanted to see how much of cloud dust it's creating with fiber being open versus a CO2 being in enclosed environment.
Boy, 100 millimeters a second and 15%. That's too fast and too low power.
So the other thing, if you're using Lightburn, you might want to actually do a test grid, right? And test your. That was the first thing you should do, to be honest with you.
That's anytime you put a new piece of material in your laser, that's the first thing to do. Run a cut test if you're cutting it in an engrave test.
Right.
And
I would do that.
Lightburn has it. It's right there built in.
Yeah. And tiles are cheap, right? You don't have to buy expensive tiles. You can go buy sacrificial pieces, right? Just the cheapest tile Home Depot sells, because you're just literally ruining them.
Yeah.
Who cares? Later you want to sell something fancy, you want to get a nicer tile, go for it. But at the end of the day, you're painting it and removing paint.
And like less than $1 a piece, right? So.
Right. There you go.
So there's one there.
Today's going to be awesome. This is very cool. I like it. Okay, do that again.
Okay, so where did this graphic come from? If you go to on the internet and you look for adult coloring book pages, you can find some really cool stuff to engrave, and that's where this came from.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Good tip.
And now you're going to get another copyright strike.
I don't sell those. I made one of those for somebody, one of our family friends. I made an extra one because I liked it.
Nice. That's cool. No, that was a good idea. Canva has a lot of cool stuff too that's already kind of stock photos. Adobe stock has a lot of cool stuff, but their subscription is not exactly cheap.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point now where I just use Kittle and use their AI tool, and you can generate things that look like coloring, like line drawings, right? So
yeah,
coloring book pictures, and
I think AI.
And I don't have to worry about getting sued.
Right, AI. The more and more you use it, and you continue to use the same thread, it's like it just gets better and better and better, right?
Yeah, to some degree. Well, AI is an interesting thing, right? Sometimes you can't believe how stupid it is, and sometimes it's terrifyingly smart, and it's freaky.
Will my longer array 10 watt do that, or do I need a 20 watt?
You can do that with a 5 watt.
Yeah.
My first laser was a 3018 generic CNC with a 5 watt laser head on it. You had to manually focus. That was my very first laser, and one of the first things I started doing were these ceramic tiles. So yeah, 5 watt laser will do it. 10 watt definitely, and you'll actually get better definition if you're using a 10 watt than you would with, let's say, a 30 watt.
So Roger, you want to answer this? This is like your coin when people say, "I have a 70 watt," and you.
Yeah, it's that. A lot of laser manufacturers used to. Not so much anymore, but they used to say, hey, it's a 60 watt laser. Well, it's actually 5 watt or 10 watt. They're talking about the input, not the output.
That is so misleading, though. And to me, that's like dishonest practice.
Yeah, I think enough people call them out on it that they finally once a couple of companies start reporting it the right way, which is output power, then companies that still are quoting input power just look like shameful, right? So it didn't take long once they made the switch, because enough people called them out on it and said, like, it's not a 100 watt laser. It uses 100 watts, but it's got 3 watts of power on the output side.
Another one I saw that they don't tout so much is cutting metal. Yeah, if you want to cut like tin foil.
Yeah.
But you're not going to cut a piece of 1/4-inch steel. You're just not going to do it.
Yeah, aluminum foil.
Yeah, those 70 watt diode lasers are getting there, right? Like, it's still not going to cut a substantial piece of metal, but it's slightly thicker than tin foil now, which is interesting.
Longer B130, try 8,300 at 50%. I had good luck.
That's an interesting speed.
Yeah.
Sounds like someone did a lot of experimenting.
Yeah. What happens if you use 8332? It doesn't work anymore. Man, that's way more precise than I do. I kind of close my eyes and pick the nearest 1,000.
Yeah, so he's gonna give it a try. Cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't do too many tiles anymore. It's just they're not that fun actually, because it's not like you can do anything but a gray thing or a black thing.
I still do a lot of them, but anymore it's been they've been special orders for actually people that own bars. They like to put weird tiles in their bathrooms.
Yeah.
And I've done a whole lot of those.
Yeah, probably stuff we can't put on here, right?
Oh no, it's nothing nasty. It's a lot of like pirate heads and motorcycle themed things and
Oh, okay, that's cool.
skulls and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Or here's another one. I'll get this one up there. You like iguanas? Of course, that's not laser. That's sublimation there.
What do you guys think? Have you seen any of these? Since you brought that up, have you guys seen these UV DTF printers?
Yeah, tempting.
I've seen it. And that's about all I've done with it is seen it.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
It's kind of like insane because you could put it on wood, you could put it on metal, you could put it on glass. And the latest thing I've been seeing people do is they're sticking it on something underwater. And it still sticks. It's like they're literally like taking a cup, put it underwater, sticking the sticker on it, and it's sticking and it's coming off. And it's like, what? I don't know.
Yeah. UV printers in general are kind of interesting. There was I go to this auction site here. It's not actually where I live, but it's in Canada. And they did have it was a printing shop that was going out of business, and they had like a relatively new 4x8 flatbed UV printer. And I was like, no one is going to know what this thing is. This thing's probably worth, $4 or $5 grand. And I should buy it. But then I was saying it's like 500 miles from me, so the shipping would be a bit expensive. But I was really tempted.
I went to a trade show and I saw them print on a door, like a full size door.
Yep.
They printed during the show, like a high resolution photo on a door. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of the ultimate in printing.
Yeah. So I would say any type of printing, DTF, DTG, UV, anything, you should definitely have external venting, right?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
So, and that even goes for our lasers. You're putting,
especially.
Not sure if it's making or pressing that's hazardous. Probably all the above, right? We're getting stuff imported from other countries. It's not going through. I mean, I'm pretty sure everything's illegal in California, right? You can't have bad breath in California.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm actually shocked. So I did I did the borax video to darken engraving on wood, and there are an awful lot of countries on the planet that don't allow you to buy borax.
Oh yeah, Europe, especially in Europe.
Yeah. And it's like it occurs in nature. Like it's not like they make borax, right? They go and mine it. It's there.
Right.
And so, and my mother always used to use it for washing, for laundry.
Yeah.
It's great ant control too.
Yeah, well, that's what I use it for, is put it in a little bit of sugar water to control the ants around my yard. But yeah, I was shocked actually. Well, all of Europe was kind of a given, but there were other places too where you couldn't get borax, and I was like, well, your country is where it comes from. Like, how can you?
They're like, you can take it, but we don't want it. We're
someone in South America said they couldn't get it, and it's like, well, that's where they mine it. Like, like it's just crazy. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't throw it out in the environment on purpose, but it is, I mean, like I said, it used to be, well, you can still buy it here for laundry, but
right.
Yeah, the old 20 mule team. I got a box of it sitting up
yeah,
here somewhere.
that's the one. I think must have been the only company that made it.
So what are you making in the background there, Roger?
What?
There you go. Most importantly, you can't make slime without borax.
Yeah, where we be? My son is like addicted to making slime. I don't think he went on YouTube and learned how, and he's 4 years old. He's got all kinds of slime.
Does he do it without borax?
He uses clear Elmer's glue and a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What do you got going on in the back there, Roger?
Okay, I am. That's an experiment right there on experimental riser. I'm trying to print it without supports. It's got a big hollow in it, and that the Pirelli Ender 3 V3 SE, that's what that model printer is pretty fast, and they claim that you can span a pretty good gap without support. So I'm trying it out. My X-Carbon will do it.
So are you doing, as they say, attempting to break something?
No, it's just it'll either work or it'll go into what I call the poop box, where all the scrap 3D printed stuff goes that you can't really recycle.
So I heard an interesting comment about our generation, and it said that we are like the technology generation, meaning in our lifespan, we witnessed the internet become a thing, wireless telephones become a thing, right? And now with AI, they're saying with these new processors, that by 2047 that we're going to see basically technology go like this instead of like this, right?
Well, computers are another thing. I mean, when I was back in high school and I wanted to do this experimental thing in electronic shop class of making a little bitty computer, which was strictly binary, my dad wouldn't pay for the parts. He says, I don't know why you want to do that. People are never going to have computers in their house. Of course, that was in 1971, but
certainly they weren't going to have them on their wrist.
Yeah.
There was only one person in my whole neighborhood, Randy. He watches our live once in a while. He had a computer, and I remember he had to pay by the minute. You remember that?
Oh,
and his
yeah.
mom would get mad if we were on the internet. So we'd all pitch in money to give him some money so his mom wouldn't get mad for us using the internet. But when the internet first started, there really wasn't much on the internet, right?
Yeah, I mean, until, I don't know, probably the early 80s, we still had a rotary phone, like a 500 set.
Right.
And my father, who's like a diehard, technophobe, he had that phone for a long time. Like he just got rid of it because they took away his pulse service on his line. But I didn't realize how much technology had changed until my son was with me at my father's place, at my parents' place, and he forgot something at home, and I said, well, pick up the phone and call. And he picks up the handset, it's the 500 set, and he's looking at the dial. And he said, how do you dial this thing? And I said, well, it's a dial. It's a real phone. You put your fingers in the holes where the numbers are and dial the number. And he's poking at it. And I said, no, you got to grab it and slide it over that metal thing. He was astounded. But I was just like, holy cow, like what happened?
Right. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
And payphones have kind of gone by the wayside too. You don't see them hardly anywhere anymore.
Yeah,
No.
well, because who doesn't have a cell phone now, right?
Yeah, I mean, you see a guy in the corner, it's a bum, he's begging for money, he's got a cell phone. Like, what the heck? Hey, you got your priorities straight, but okay.
Actually, there's a lot of restaurants here now when you go in and, on a Friday night or Saturday night when they're busy, and you say, we need a table for two. What's your cell phone number? They don't give you the little buzzer beeper things anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll send you a text when your table's ready.
Cheaper.
So I got a question for everybody. Mother's Day is coming right around the corner. What projects are you working on for Mother's Day? Or do you need ideas? Or what's your plans for Mother's Day that you guys plan on making either for your significant other or to sell? Do you guys have anything?
I could use some Mother's Day ideas.
I can say everything I want to hear because my wife doesn't watch my YouTube. She hates it actually, so I'm safe. I'm not telling any secrets.
Yeah, I don't know about making anything even for my wife, because anything I show her that I've made, she looks at and goes, "Why would I want one of those?" It's like,
So I don't feel bad now. I don't feel bad.
no. I think maybe it's just a natural environmental problem. I don't know, but I, I made her a cutting board, and she wanted a big one, and so I made this thing that was, I don't know, probably 24, about 15 by 24, big cutting board, walnut, maple, paduk, like. And I said, before I finish it, come to the shop and see if you can pick it up because it's heavy. And she picked it up and said, "Yeah, it's a little heavy. Can you cut 6 inches off of it?" I said, "Oh, you mean $100? Yeah, I'll just cut that off and throw it away, throw it in the fire."
Yeah.
But and I made it. She went, "Oh, this is nice," and she put it over on the corner of the island. It's basically just something that's there. And anytime she wants to cut something, she gets one of those plastic ones, and it's like,
the dollar store ones. You're like,
yeah.
man.
Well, and I said, "How come you don't use this one?" "Well, I don't want to mark it." I said, "That's what it's for."
Right.
I said, "If you cut it up beyond repair, I'll make you a new one."
Right. At least then she used it.
Well, but most things she looks at and goes, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah, my wife is the same. My
Oops.
wife actually thinks it's pretty stupid that I do YouTube, to be honest with you. And I'm like, I don't know.
What is a grand baby's door round?
I was trying to figure that out myself. I know what a beehive is. I know what bees are. And I know what honey is. I got a lot of that.
All right, B, explain yourself.
Do I have to Google this so I don't have to look stupid the next time somebody talks about these?
I think I need to upgrade my camera or buy a camera because I'm using the camera on the Mac Pro.
Yeah.
It's just got too much washout. I'm pretty brown. You can't tell.
Aren't you brown before the camera turned on? Though?
Yeah, but I'm supposed to look like this.
Not like me, man. I'm white, transparent. Like, hold me up to the light and you can see through me.
Oh, see, I was out in the sun all day, so I'm all red. This is a different camera angle.
Yeah. Keeps doing a lot of washout versus like this. See the background adjust, go dark, like this. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I see what a door round is.
What is it?
It's, well, these ones, it's like a sign you hang on your door, like hello.
Oh, like the hotel ones, like do not disturb.
Well, no. Just like a big round sign that you put on your door, welcome people or whatever.
Oh, I was thinking the door rounds, like the ones that actually has the hole, you put it over the doorknob and it hangs from the doorknob.
Oh, the do not disturb.
Rock and don't come and knock.
Yeah, that's not a door round. They're usually rectangular for one thing. Well, I'm happy because I learned something today. I've actually made these, but I didn't know what they were called.
Nice.
Just somebody would come and say, "Hey, I want a round sign with a word on it." Okay.
I've made quite a few layered ones. They're like 8-inch diameter for Halloween, but I've never really made any big ones. I don't have a market for it.
Yeah. Halloween, I made those lanterns, and it was kind of last minute. And man, I tell you what, this year it ain't gonna be last minute. I'm gonna be making those 2 months before Halloween. They sold like immediately. They were like gone.
Yeah, I've made quite a few of these. They're like jack-o'-lanterns, but they're square. They're just a little wooden box, and you put a like a tea light in them.
Exactly what I made. Yep.
And those things are hot items. Like it's like
yes. I painted the inside white first, and then I painted yellow on top. So when you put that little tiny tea light inside, it like reflected so much. It like gave that illusion. It was way brighter than it was, right?
Yeah.
Not the little cheap light you have in it.
These little haunted houses here are real popular at Halloween. I make a lot of those. And you can light them up with one of them little Dollar Tree LED tea lights, whatever they call them.
Yeah.
And you could add colors to it. You can do quite a few things with it.
I've seen those guys, man. They'll take a picture of your house and create a CAD drawing of it. But that's, man, they charge some money to do that. And then make that.
We're in the wrong business.
I know. I keep saying, like, I think the number one way to make money is just doing artwork, right? Because it doesn't matter like what they're using artwork for. And an Etsy store that sells artwork is around the clock.
Yeah.
And you go on Etsy and you look at this artwork and it's horrible. And I'm like, people are buying this. Like, maybe I should really seriously think about doing artwork, because I cannot believe how flooded, Etsy is with artwork. And you know what? They have great feedback and it's trash. I'm just like, man, this is not good at all.
Yeah, I don't sell a lot on Etsy, but almost everything I sell is a design.
Oh, see, to
Yeah.
my point. There you go.
It's like, I'm happy because if I don't have to make something, if I can sell you an SVG file,
Right.
good for me, good for you, right? So,
Right.
It saves a lot of labor.
Yeah. So the only thing I've seen when you're doing that is, how are you showing the artwork? Are you actually showing the artwork created? And the reason I say that is because I know when I thought about doing it, some of the requirements are you have to show the artwork pretty big. And I was like, well, why wouldn't someone just right click and steal the artwork then? How are you protecting your artwork?
Well, the easiest way is to print it and lay it down somewhere and shoot it at an angle.
Okay.
Or you could watermark it.
Well, you can take watermarks off pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that might be an option. I get a lot of people when they see things that I made, like, hey, would you? Most of the time I just give it to them, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I've thought about just creating an Etsy store just for the artwork itself. I think I have like 16 terabytes of artwork, man. Like, I still gotta load some of this stuff.
You have way more time than I do.
Well, I got crazy geeky into doing graphic design, and I was doing that for a while. Web developing, then went into t-shirt making. Before the whole laser stuff.
I have a hard time to draw a straight line with a ruler.
I made someone a website recently they opened a fiber optic company because the union was slow, so they started their own company. And I banged out a website like 2 hours. It has a two version. It has the phone version and the computer version. $700. My wife's like, "You made $700?" I'm like, "Yeah. Why don't you do that more often?" I was like, "I don't know. Maybe I should."
Well, these days you can, if you have Wix or any of the web providers, it'll build a website for you, right? And
right.
You don't really have to think too hard.
Well, it's just, the thing that sucks is that I'm used to being old school, right? I'm used to writing it from scratch. You
Yeah, don't do that
HTML,
anymore.
Java and JavaScript, and it's like, here's WordPress. Whoa.
I did that for a living, and I won't do that anymore.
I'm actually pretty good in WordPress. Both of my websites run on WordPress.
Yeah. But you get used to these plugins and things, like you just so used to, you just want to do it yourself. Like, what?
Yeah, but the nice thing about, like, my websites run on Wix, and the nice thing about it is if you need currency conversion or billing or any of that stuff, it's all there, and you just plug it into your website, right? So
yeah,
really all you're doing is determining what style you want, what color do you want your buttons to be, basically, and put up a few graphics. Spend some time with SEO.
So to the point, what we're just talking about, websites and things like that, that if it's something that you want to create a website for your laser or your business or your side hustle, you don't have to always necessarily be on Etsy, because I think that's like, lo and behold, it's like you got to sell on Etsy or you got to sell on Amazon, right? You can have your own website, and if you're pretty good with Facebook Marketplace, you can import your website directly into Facebook Marketplace. And Facebook Marketplaces, I want to say they're giving Etsy a pretty good run for their money. So that's just some options.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything on Facebook leads to the dark side from my perspective, but but yeah, I mean, I do most of my business almost all of my business is done off my website as opposed to Etsy. My Etsy site is really just a flag stuck in the ground to say, hey, I'm here, right? I can make things. But almost anything I do is either from my website or from somebody who bought something from me in the past on my website. and who's now recommended me to somebody else.
Nice. Yeah, every customer will bring you a customer.
Yeah, and I mean, Etsy to me is just a, I have listings up there as basically a lost leader, but it just lets people know I'm there, right? So
right. I think the biggest, you see these people on YouTube, they say, can a business post products on Facebook Marketplace? I think you can only do it using ads. I know a person can post them, but I do it on my personal page.
I do it too that way.
yeah.
And I mostly use Facebook Marketplace when I need to unload something.
Yep.
Just want to get rid of it. And I'll put a price according with it, and that's it.
I do that because I mostly make lots of something, right? I'm going to make a lot of 15 or 20 or something. I just post it on Facebook, and it's gone in like 2 days. No matter how many I made, they're gone.
Yeah, I don't do volume, so I don't have that problem. But
yeah,
Facebook Marketplace is also a very good place to get rid of your scrap electronics. Say, hey, I got this 60-inch TV that doesn't work, but it's free if you want to come and get it. Somebody will come and get it.
That's because people, man, they're taking these boards now and they're taking the gold out of it. You've seen a lot of people doing that.
Yeah, have you seen the chemical process of that? That's not something I want to get into.
It's not easy.
Yeah, but it's money. What's gold like? $2,000 an ounce, something like that.
Yeah, about 23 today.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought. I had looked into it. Yeah, Jim, I'm telling you, it's a level playing field, right? Because you don't have to put ads or something. You literally, somebody goes in Facebook Marketplace, they put in their zip code, and they put a range, how many miles they want. And the cool thing is that you can get local business. I mean, yes, you can ship on Facebook Marketplace, but somebody likes it, bing, bing, they meet you, go to your house.
But
if you're uncomfortable meeting someone, I meet people at the police station all the time. I
was gonna say, don't you have to like meet people in a coffee shop or something because they're all axe murderers?
Right. I mean, I do have, be honest, I do have a flood of people come to my house. But if someone kind of made me feel like, I'll just meet them at a police station. I'll say, meet me at the Oswego Police Department. And if they don't want to, they have ill intentions, and the police department's not too far from my house. But again, I'm not going to do that for a $5 item, right?
Yeah.
I'm not driving somewhere. But
with me, if you want it, you come here and you pick it up.
Yeah.
This
axe murderers be damned.
Yeah. So I bought that, the Craig, just the table off this guy, and off of Facebook Marketplace, and he was a white guy, and he was looking through my posts, and I think he was like, I know that he's gonna meet me, be scared. So I suggested to meet at a police station, and then he was like, okay, willing to do it. And when I showed up, he was a cop, and I was like, what the hell were you worried about? You're a cop? I was like, why didn't you just tell me you're a cop, dude? What the hell? Like, what is your deal? He's like, that's even worse. I don't like people knowing I'm a cop. He goes, one, they think it's a setup, or two, nobody trusts cops. People hate cops. It's like,
there you go.
Well, quite a few years ago, I bought a grizzly joiner, needed work, but I bought it for $50. So, okay, but you got to come and pick it up. Okay, give me your address. Gives me his address. I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, oh, boy. I know where that is in this city, one of the cities here. Rick will be familiar with Cabrini Green.
Yep.
This was kind of like that. So it was, I said, well, I definitely want to do it in the daytime. Don't want to do this after dark. But I managed to go and get it without any hitches. But boy, I didn't like going down there.
Yeah, Cabrini Greens was one of the worst projects in the city of Chicago before they.
Is it like Chicago's equivalent of Compton, or?
It was the worst ghetto project in the city of Chicago, but they tore it down. I mean, it was so bad that the cops wouldn't go there. Like they'd shoot at the cops when they pulled up.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. This area here is also pretty bad. But
the thing is that Chicago's definitely changed. I think the 90s, the gangs. Well, Chicago's always been known for the gangs, right? I mean, from the Capone days till the other type of gangs. But the feds came down in Chicago so bad that gangs still exist, but they're nowhere near what they used to be at all. You know, so yeah. I mean, you can go to Pilsen. Pilsen, you know, used to be a really bad neighborhood, and now you have $700,000 and Karen living there and looking at me like, why am I there? You know, like, oh my God, what are you doing here? Like, bro, this is my family's from. I'm sorry, you bought a $30,000 house and put 700 grand into it. But you know what I mean?
I'm glad I live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Pilsen is like graffiti, right? Hispanics have a real thing of respect that if you graffiti something, they won't paint over it, especially if you're known. So to keep the neighborhood kind of looking fancy or nice or attractive or appealing, they hire well-known artists from all over the world, and they come do a lot of these murals. So it's become a real big tourist spot for people in Chicago to come. But what they don't realize is that's a pretty rough neighborhood. It may look really nice. Right? I mean, it's really nice.
Well, I can assure you, if I painted on the wall, someone would paint over it.
Don't go there when it gets dark. Just be out of there by then. But yeah.
Hey, go down the local rail yard here. There's a lot of spray can artists down there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't even keep the nozzle on a spray can clean, so I have two of them. So I was painting the blue, the background on this map I did, and I had 2 cans of blue paint, and neither one of them the nozzle worked. So mineral spirits are sitting in there soaking. Maybe I'll pull them out tomorrow.
Flip it upside down and spray it for a couple seconds.
Oh, I did, but it's Krylon paint, which tends to block nozzles really easily, and I don't like it. But I bought a bunch of it, and now I'm stuck with it.
So I was really surprised no one said anything about the Mother's Day gifts. No one really? Nothing? Huh.
No.
I don't know. Maybe we're gonna have to be creative. Come up with some pretty cool things for the group. Yeah. We'll see. I'm still thinking. There was this website that writes custom songs. Have you ever seen that?
No.
It's a website that they're like pretty well-known artists, or I'd say upcoming artists. You kind of fill out this survey of like what you would like the song to be about, and they literally write you a song and sing it. I was thinking that'd be something kind of cool, unique, different.
Is it really a person writing it, or
some
AI?
Yeah, no, it's not AI. It's like a legit person. Yeah.
So what if they accidentally write you a #1 hit?
You own it. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? I thought that's something unique and different.
Well,
we'll see. See if it sucks or not. Maybe I'll play it for you guys. Give it to her. Don't say I bought it. I know Steve's opinion will be, don't make it country.
or rap.
Right, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I figure country music is doomed now anyway that Beyonce's there. So
yeah. Country's definitely different. It's not Hank Williams, right? It's
yeah, it's not.
Once Nelly started singing country songs, it kind of showed you.
Yeah, it's not about your wife stealing your dog and taking your pickup truck anymore. It's like
it's more pop for sure.
It's empowered cowboys now.
Acetone and a Q-tip works for me. I can't keep them clean either.
There you go. V is making some Mother's Day gifts.
Nice, V. We have one nice soul in the group here still.
My mother lives 1,000 miles away from me, so
no,
I don't think I'd have time to get it made and sent to her.
There you go.
And I have no one to make any Mother's Day stuff for.
Good engravings, not fill engravings on cutting boards. Amazon multi-color boards on WeCreate. Steve, help. Emphasis on the Steve.
Multicolor boards. Maybe struggling. Well, run a material test for one thing.
Well, the multicolor board thing is something I'm not familiar with.
Is it plastic? Please don't say it's plastic.
They're probably HPDE or HDPE, whatever the hell
that
plastic is
won't
called.
engrave at all.
No,
It'll melt.
That's why I'm asking.
because if they're those plastic cutting boards, they're not plastic. They're that HPDE stuff. There you go. A material test made fire. That's a bad sign.
Yeah. So I'm assuming it is plastic.
Stay tuned. I'm going to drop a video in the next couple days that'll tell you how to do this. It's easier than Snazzy Maps, which wouldn't be hard, granted.
Yeah, and there's one thing too is that people, please be careful when you're doing something like that. You don't want to cause a fire with plastic and then start melting and start a fire you struggle to put out. Or remember that those plastics create black smoke or toxins.
Yeah,
probably not good to breathe in.
Some will create chlorine gas, which will then corrode everything on your laser that's metal.
And your lungs to boot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's HPDE, it will be laser safe, although it's not laser useful. So
you bought it on Amazon. Look it up. Tell us what it's actually made of.
There's one right there.
But anything that's PVC, definitely don't put that in your laser.
Oh no, you get chlorine
Is that
gas
a
right
Dollar
away.
General special? Is that a Dollar General special there, Roger?
I don't know where I got that. I actually use it on the counter when I'm taking supports off of 3D printed things,
Okay.
so I don't mess up the counter.
The color and wood difference sucks for engraving. Hobo with wood says to engrave like X's instead of lines. I hope that makes sense. The engraver does caddy corner instead of up and down or across.
Yeah, so he's doing 2 passes and rotating from 45 to whatever the next one is, 120.
I didn't know you could do that. I thought you can only do that in Lightroom with a fiber laser. You can do that
No.
with a dial laser?
Yeah, you can rotate. You can do you can rotate on every pass.
Right. So I think I set it to 45 and it keeps going boom, or 20. I think 20 I set mine.
Yeah, you want to set it to some weird prime number like 17.
Right.
But here you're just doing 2 passes because you're just making cross hatching, right? So you're rotating at 90. You're starting at 45 degrees and rotating at 90 on the second pass.
Right, and that's supposed to make it have a better, even layers. Yeah, I just recently learned that not too long ago, maybe a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, the other thing, if it's a fill, make sure that the line interval is reasonable too, because if it's set to like 400 lines per inch, you're just going to turn your whole thing into a pile of goo because the lines are too close together.
Material test, right?
Sure.
So, guys, I know we started late because of me. I apologize. My son did start baseball. So, do you guys want to? Our normal live is cut off at 8:30. You guys some extra time, or you guys want to call it? How are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling sleepy.
Okay. Well, guys, I thank you and I appreciate everyone joining our live. I want to thank my co-host for taking leadership on this, and when I was unable to attend, they were able to take the reins.
It wasn't leadership; it was a desperate move.
Nah, there's no desperate.
Someone's got to do it.
I told you to go live with me, guys, for a reason. So that's why I say team in every single one of our emails. Let's see, what's this?
If you're venting outside, it's not going to bother your neighbor most likely, unless your neighbor unless you live in the city and in one of those really narrow lots where your neighbor's 2 feet away from you. But
it disperses pretty fast.
Yeah, it'll disperse quickly.
You see this? I have this in front of my laser. Goes to that, and then goes up to a 6-inch exhaust. And goes outside. The outside of my house, it looks like a dryer vent. My wife says it smells sometimes outside like a hamster cage, but it's bad than smell like that inside your house.
Bamboo and acacia are both laser safe. Yeah, I do bamboo all the time.
Yeah, bamboo engraves nicely.
Yep, I like it. I also like this on bamboo.
Well, I thought you had a bottle of liquor there for a second.
That's what I thought. I thought it was
Yeah.
tequila or
Bees and
something.
wax,
Yeah.
wood polish, and conditioners. Beeswax and orange oil.
Yeah, I make my own, but yeah,
But I don't
Any
have a
oil.
beehive.
Well, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is definitely an advantage.
Thanks for coming out, Marilyn.
Yep.
So what's the schedule for next week while we're all here?
Yeah, are we back to normal time? Because
Yeah, yes, we can do normal time. Why am I lost for his name? That's horrible.
Conrad.
Conrad can actually go live. I don't have a problem with you guys going live, but Steve had mentioned that when I gave you admin rights, it didn't also allow you to share it.
Yeah, I could create a new video and post it automatically to my site, but I couldn't, as administrator, I couldn't post the existing one. So,
And
which I think is really bizarre. Like,
I don't have
there's
any of the
no option
admin
for it.
stuff at all. So,
Okay, yeah. So Conrad was just on vacation this week, but he said that he can go live next week, and I will just join you guys like an hour late if you guys are cool with that.
yeah,
Sure. We'll
Okay.
talk about you for the first hour and
yeah.
Sounds good.
comment how nice you are when you arrive.
All right, thank you everyone for joining us. Appreciate it. Be ready for next week. And there's a new tool that StreamYard just came out with, where when you type something in the comments below that we request you to, it's automatically going to enter you into a raffle, and there'll be a spin wheel. We'll be able to do it. I'm going to try that next week, and there'll be a giveaway. So
you need to give something away.
5 giveaways. How about that, guys? 5
5.
giveaways. They're smalls. I will say they're smalls, but 5 people win something next week. So stay tuned for next week. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, see you all next week.
Take care. Thanks for coming out.